36 years old, 2 kids ages 13 and 5. A part-time serving job, an old Mercedes with a leaking hose. She can't even register in her own name, and rent she's not sure she'll make this month. She's not lazy. She's not making bad choices for fun. She's drowning, and every time she comes up for air, something else pulls her back under. So what do you actually do when you're out of runway and out of options? Stick around because this one's more solvable than it looks. Hey Profiteer, Eric here. Welcome back to Real Money Stories. Today's post comes from r/povertyfinance, and it's about a single mom trying to build a plan from almost nothing. Here's the short version before we get into her exact words. This isn't just a money problem. It's a money problem tangled up with a housing problem, a car problem, and a kid who needs more support than the system's giving him right now. Let me read it to you in their own words. I'm 36 originally from Indiana, but now living in the Southeast US. I'm a single mom of 2 kids, ages 13 and 5. I was with their father for 17 years, but that relationship ended, and now I'm trying to figure out how to get stable on my own. I don't have a college degree. Most of my work experience has been serving warehouse jobs and other low-wage work. I tried a banking/account opening job, but I didn't like it and ended up quitting, partly because I was late a lot due to issues with my 13-year-old. My oldest has serious behavioral problems. We got kicked out of our apartment because of my son's behavioral issues, fighting on the property. He was moved to alternative school, and it feels like every time I start getting things together, something else happens. I also have a 5-year-old who is being affected by all of this. My car is also a problem. It's an old Mercedes with a leaking hose, and it's still in my kid's father's name, so I can't get it registered in mine. I'm working part-time as a server now, applying for jobs and running out of money. I know I've made mistakes, but I'm trying to build a real plan for me and my kids. What would you do first? What jobs, programs, certifications, assistance, or resources should I be looking into as a single mom with no degree and a child with behavioral issues? Okay. First thing I want to say reading this is she's carrying an enormous amount by herself. 17 years with someone, then starting completely over at 36 with 2 kids and no safety net under her. That's not a personal failure. That's just a genuinely hard hand. I've been writing about money for over a decade now, and the pattern I keep seeing in stories like this one is that people treat it as a single problem. I need more income, when it's actually 3 or 4 interlocking problems stacked on top of each other. Fix them in the wrong order and you spin your wheels for years. Fix them in the right order and things start moving fast. So let's talk about what I'd probably do if I were in her shoes. And I want to say up front, none of this replaces sitting down with a caseworker or a financial advisor who knows her actual numbers. This is general direction, not personalized advice. First framework, stabilization triage. Before income, before certifications, before any of it, you stabilize the 2 things that are actively bleeding, housing and transportation. And here's why that order matters. If your housing is unstable, you can't hold a job schedule. If your car isn't reliable and legally yours, you can't get to the job in the first place. Every other plan sits on top of those 2 pillars, so they go first, not last. For housing, that means calling 211 today, not researching it, calling it. 211 connects with local emergency rental assistance, family shelters, and rapid rehousing programs. And a lot of areas have programs specifically for single parents that don't show up in a general search. For the car, here's the concrete next step. She needs her ex to sign the title over, or she needs a bill of sale and a notarized release, depending on the state. If he won't cooperate, small claims court can actually compel a title transfer when there's an existing custody or support case open, and a free legal aid clinic, which exists in basically every state, can tell her exactly which path applies to her situation. Second framework, and this one's underused benefit stacking order. Most people apply for one program at a time, get denied or approved, and stop applying. But SNAP 10, childcare subsidies, and Section 8 or local housing vouchers aren't separate lines, they're a system, and qualifying for one often unlocks or speeds up another. The why here is that these programs share verification data and income thresholds, so a single visit to a benefits navigator, which most counties have for free, can get her enrolled in 3 or 4 things in one afternoon instead of 4 separate applications spread over months. Now, the obvious answer to her actual question, what job should I get, is where it gets complicated. Because on paper, the fastest fix looks like just get a higher paying job. Here's where it stops being that simple. She can't hold irregular hours right now because of her son. So the job has to fit the family situation, not just pay more. That's Framework 3, the credential sprint. Instead of a 4-year degree, which she doesn't have time or money for right now, there are certifications that take 4 to 12 weeks and open real wage jumps. CNA training, medical billing and coding, phlebotomy, pharmacy technician. These matter because employers use the certificate as a filter, not because the material is hard to learn on the job, so a short program gets her past the resume filter fast. And a lot of these programs are fully funded through WIOA, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, for exactly her situation, low income, needing a fast credential. That's a program name worth writing down and searching for locally. Fourth, and honestly this might be the highest leverage move in the whole story, her son needs an IEP, or a 504 plan evaluation through his school, immediately if he doesn't have one. This is the wraparound model: get the school, a therapist, and if needed a county behavioral health program, all coordinating around him instead of her managing it alone. And here's the mechanism that makes this worth doing first. A documented behavioral health plan doesn't just help him, it protects her job. Schools with an IEP in place have to provide additional support and accommodations, which means fewer disruptive incidents pulling her out of work, which means she keeps the job she needs. Again, a reminder that this episode is for entertainment and education, and none of it replaces a conversation with a qualified financial advisor or a local caseworker who knows her full situation. The specific numbers in this story are her own: 1 server job, 1 Mercedes, 2 kids, 1 ex holding a title hostage. But the principle underneath it applies to almost anyone rebuilding from zero. Fix what's actively bleeding first, stack the support that's already available to you before you go looking for more, and get the right people, not just more income, around the hardest part of the problem. If you found this helpful, share it with someone dealing with the same thing. Until next time, stay profitable.